Hello and welcome to this astrological overview for Gemini season. Gemini is the third season in the astrological calendar following Aries season and Taurus season. Gemini is a mutable air sign, and some of the themes around the air element, the other two air signs being Libra and Aquarius, are very much all air signs are very much about the mind and about the thoughts in the mind, about identification with the mind, and about intellectual and mental stimulation of the mind. Other things that have to do with the air element besides thinking and ideas is also this movement of air or prana or breath. So breath work is a really great thing to do during any type of air season. There's also this kind of detachment that comes with air that is associated with kind of a sense of scientific mindedness or freedom minded or even just, super logical thinking. Some of the specific themes that have to do with Gemini. Remember, Gemini, when you look up at the constellation of Gemini, it looks like twins, two twins holding hands almost. And this kind of represents the duality of the mind that can sometimes come up when planets are moving through Gemini, when you might have a significant personal planet in Gemini, or in any, or even in Aquarius or Libra, or even Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury. So Mercury and Gemini very much go hand in hand, as Mercury is the planet that rules Gemini. And Mercury is mercurial. It's very much, again, about thinking, logical thinking, scientific thinking, intellectual thinking. And with Gemini specifically, again, this idea of duality, of being able to really think and see two opposite perspectives of the same subject or same idea, and which leads Gemini to be maybe a little bit scattered, a little bit flighty. Sometimes can come off as a little bit superficial, very, very social because of this, however, in that it is this ability to be able to relate to, all people on all sides of a situation. Other things that have to do with Gemini is communication, which is also because of the planet Mercury, which rules Gemini and corresponds to the fifth chakra, the throat center, and some things with the fifth chakra, aside from just communication. So things that we want to do during Gemini season to align us closer and with the season is really refining your ability to communicate. And that means not just articulating and verbal expression, but also honest, authentic self-expression would be a thing to definitely cultivate or focus on, as well as deep listening, as we know that half of, or even more than half of communication has to do with your ability to be able to listen. Some other things to think about during Gemini is this idea that everything is an affirmation, whether or not it's something that is said or it's something that is thought. So to be very, very mindful, practice mindfulness during Gemini season. Notice the things that you're telling yourself on a regular basis, understand where your beliefs come from, and maybe shift some of those ideas, some of those things so that they serve you more, so that each thing, as we can think about it, is like a affirmation, is something that we do want to focus on, that we do want to come to into fruition or into our experience. Some ideas for exercise and self-care during Gemini season. Because the mind is so active with prominent Gemini, then we want to do things that are as much as possible clearing the mind, whether it's kind of like some sort of transcendental meditation or some sort of guided meditation where you don't have to think about anything, or if you're worried about your mind wandering and overthinking, then definitely something guided or some kind of mantra would be a great thing to focus on. Other things to do for self-care during Gemini season is to think about this idea of being able to alternate between things that keep your mind super empty and clear, like meditation and maybe even yoga, to things that really stimulate the mind in order for you to really focus. Because one of those things, remember, the Gemini energy can sometimes be scattered, sometimes be flighty, sometimes, short attention span. So doing things that really focus the mind, whether it's something that you really, love to do and just get absorbed and involved in, or whether it's something new that can stimulate new neural pathways that can kind of keep your mind activated and occupied with, like a mind-body connection, or like a new type of new way of moving, or a new, or like learning a new type of dance, something that really can focus your mind on stimulating something new. The exercise that you do during this time, because it is right before the official summer season, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, is to make sure that it's still very, very high intensity. We have lots of energy, lots of heat to burn off in the summer, and we want to just kind of include that maybe in our exercise and self-care practice. As far as a yoga practice, because it's an air practice and it's because it's fifth chakra practice, we want to maybe do some more balancing work, as well as some breath work, as well as a practice, again, that's kind of, fast-paced, quick, to kind of match the body with the mind. And then immediately flip it and do the opposite for the second half of your practice, where you can be a little bit more restorative, holding the stretches a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more of a longer shavasana, because you definitely need to give the mind a break. That would be the focus of a yoga practice. Also, anything that stimulates the throat and neck. Any type of food diet suggestions would be, again, eating lightly, right? The spring diet is about detoxifying, and the summer diet is about eating really, really lightly. And lots of food that are filled with, packed with nutrition, as well as maybe even filled with water, right? Lots of hydrating foods. So definitely local, seasonal produce. And then think about like soups, light soups and broths, or even some smoothies. Definitely a variety is what Gemini themed eating would be, as Geminis do love a lot of variety as they get easily bored. Thank you for joining me for this Gemini season overview. I'll see you for the next overview for Cancer season.